minus $30 per barrel. What? In the minus range? U.S. monitoring intelligence that North Korean leader is in grave danger after surgery. Oh my God, he's dying! Business as usual. Don't worry. We've been living with this kind of rumors every now and then. Kim Jong-un died and he's revived or resurrected. Hello, I'm Andy Kim. Welcome back. This is International Finance, and then I'm going to talk about current issue today because there were some crazy things going on in the market, especially in the oil market, and then the geopolitical issue was there. And then we're going to talk about what to expect in your midterm exam. Okay, so. Before we move on further, what do I wear today? What did I put on? This is Hufflepuff, just for the sake of your fun, I guess, right? This Harry Potter, 살찐 Potter, or like a 확 쪘어요, like a 찐 Potter kind of things, right? All right, so I hope you like it. Or shall I change my voice? You're gonna say, shut up, that's too crazy. But
Monster.
Yeah. So otherwise, if you don't like it, I can change it like this. By the way, overnight, right? In this morning, my friend gave me this interesting picture, okay, coming from the oil market, crude oil market, right? Gasoline, yes, of course. Your oils to burn, to fly the airplanes, right? All these kind of things. Oils, the U.S. oil price, which is West Texas Intermediate price, was minus $30 per barrel. What? In the minus range? For the first time ever in my life. Okay? Not just in my life, but ever since this oil was traded in history. Okay? It's like, here's my oil, please take it away. I'm going to give you $30 extra. Okay? Why is this thing happening? Well, that's going to be something you'll have to discuss in your midterm, right? Report, right? Okay. And then minus 30, crazy. I mean, these days, so many crazy things are happening and something unimaginable. Okay, my life is full of events like that. The things that people typically say, no, don't worry about such a crazy things. Those are unimaginable to happen. It happens. For example, what is that? Minus nominal interest rate, negative nominal interest rate. Okay, my MBA professor always said, don't worry, okay? Never in our lives we will have that kind of things. Don't worry. It happened, right? So that's one thing. And then Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, that kind of big investment banks. I thought it would be unimaginable for that kind of guys to go bankrupt or devastated like that. It happened, okay? And then oil price. Can it ever be negative? It happened, right? Not just once, but twice. Today, again, right? This evening, at this moment, this is minus price, minus $8, which is crazy. Why is this thing happening? Okay, you tell me why this thing happening. To me, that's gonna be your midterm. Okay. How important is it in the international finance? Of course, international finance. What is not international finance, by the way, in the first place, right? Number two, it is directly related to all this international political risk, and then all these things getting priced into the oil prices, right? It is not in the textbook. Well, you have Google, okay? I give you time, okay? So go ahead and study yourself and let me see how far you get there, right? So that's gonna be interesting, okay? Is it worth investing in WTI kind of things at this moment? Okay, ETF kind of things. Do you find anything? And is it worth putting your dollar into that market or not? Tell me. Okay, so that's one thing. The next thing that I want to highlight today is about North Korea. About 11:30 a.m. this morning, right? My friend sent me this CNN news. Did you ever see this one today? CNN news. Let me see. It says what? U.S. monitoring intelligence that North Korean leader is in grave danger after surgery. Oh my God, he's dying! Should I sell Korean stocks? Or should I run out of Korea? Is it going to be a disaster or whatever? Don't panic, okay? Well, at that moment, okay, what was the stock price like in Korea, Korean stock market index, right? Here's a KOSPI index, and in 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. at around that time of news release, right? The price index, okay, stock index plunged by about 2.5 percentage point. Why do I say 2.5 percentage point? Because what we see from the beginning to the end, right, compared to the previous trading days ending index level, today's index ended at 1 percentage point below. Okay, that's this difference. Okay, that's this difference. And 12 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. Okay, there was a plunging of this index. So compared to 1 percentage, this must be about 2.5 percentage point, right? Down. Okay, so some panic selling was there, right? Of course, these days, right? Ever since March, the coronavirus things, right? The market is so volatile that one percentage point up and down or 2 percentage up and down is just child's play. Seems like a child's play. So this doesn't seem like that big an event, right? But if it was a normal period of time, this must have been a big surprise at that time, right? But more interesting thing is, why didn't it keep on being at the minus 2.5 percentage point below? Why wasn't the price response was permanent, but why was the price response only transitory, bouncing back quickly? Okay, because the news was not confirmed, because there's always a rumor. Okay, this is like business as usual every now and then. Okay, this is for international students, right? If you are new to Korea, okay, don't worry, we've been living with this kind of rumors every now and then. Kim Jong-un died and he's revived or resurrected, and or his bodyguard or number 2 guy, number 3 guy, all of a sudden we say, the news says the guy was killed. Why? Because the guy used to show up right next to Kim Jong-un's photograph, but he's no longer there. And after 1 month, the number 2 guy that supposedly killed one shows up again in the photo. What is the problem over there? Lack of intelligence, which means lack of information about North Korea, is the serious problem over here. Today again, why did CNN announce that Kim Jong-un seemed to be like in serious trouble? But because most probably the guy was not attending his grandpa's ceremony or something, memorial ceremony kind of things, right? That must have been something. And then medical rumor, it says that he was going through a surgery or something, heart kind of related, circulatory issues, right? But is that a confirmed ones or not? We don't know. We don't know, okay? Lack of information is always a big problem. So how do we get over this kind of things, right? Well, tough luck. So far, tough luck. There's no way of doing that because the North Korea is so much hermit kingdom. Okay, you want to send spies over there, but South Korean people are so much well fed and have been living in a good condition, so much so that nobody can survive in that North Korean environment. Good luck, man. It's gonna be starving like crazy. We never starved in Korea, at least over the last 30 years or 40 years, right? Um, so tough to get any insider information. Is there any breakthrough for that part? Well, I had some idea, and then I had published a paper about it, about North Korea. Even though I am a finance professor, I had some idea about using media big data. Okay, use media big data. You know, the idea is like which country has better information about North Korea. Okay, South Korea or US or Japan or China or Britain or Singapore or Hong Kong, which country? Okay. As it turns out, I mean, the way I tested it was actually highlighted by the Washington Post, the US media over here. The Washington Post that you see, your professor is the one who is sometimes covered by Washington Post. Kidding. This is the Washington Post blog post by the expert in geopolitics, right? You know, Washington Post is one of the best news media in terms of geopolitical issues all around the world, international issues, right? And rather, it's more like a left wing to the center, right? So keep that in mind. Donald Trump hates this media, but the rest of the people like it. So, Professor Eric Burton in George Washington, no. Professor Eric Burton of Georgetown University, which is also the best university in international politics. He's such a big shot over there, but he was also interested in my paper, and then he was kind enough to cover it in his blog post like this. Want to know when North Korea's next aggressive act will be? Check British newspapers and the birthday calendar. Not CNN, no US news, right? No Korean news. If you believe that Korea is best informed about North Korea, no way. Think again. If you believe CIA is the best informed about North Korea, think again. MI6 is the one. Britain is the one. Okay? There's 007 movie, Die Another Day, right? North Korea comes in, and then all of a sudden, 007 was performing or doing their operations in North Korea. Crazy, you must have thought. I thought that's crazy as well. But there was a reason why. Okay, there was a reason why. Why do British have the best information? Well, because they exchange ambassadors. Pyongyang and London, they exchange ambassadors. And then, number two, Britain is a place where the freedom of press, freedom of expression is best guaranteed in Europe. It's like San Francisco of Europe. Okay, go west, west to where? San Francisco from America, London from the European, continental Europe. Okay, this is the place where Karl Marx published his, the Communist Manifesto, okay, in 1848. And then this is the place where he published his book, Das Kapital, okay, not in his home country, Germany, okay, but in London. Why? Because there's a freedom of speech and freedom of thought, okay? So what does it have to do with this North Korean issue? Well, over the last century, right, half century, let's say, there were a lot of communist people, okay, in Europe, but especially they were in Western Europe, they were gathering in Britain a lot more, okay, because of the freedom of thoughts, okay, being 빨갱이 or less communist, it was relatively allowed over there, okay. They had their own social gatherings, but after 1991 or 92, when the Berlin Wall broke down and then the Soviet Union broke down, these communist groups living in London or Britain had no place to resort to. Where are those communist countries? And China proclaimed they are communist countries, but no longer. Come on, they are capitalist countries. Come on. But North Korea was remaining as a hardcore communist country, so that these guys, these groups of people, purely British people, had strong relation with this North Korean government somehow. And lo and behold, North Korean ambassador was in London, has been there in London still nowadays, which means much better information flow must be there. Washington, D.C., no way. Seoul, no way. Tokyo, no way. Okay? And then, so what do I find in my paper? Well, I do textual analysis of newspapers, news articles about North Korea in written English, right? English, coming from 6 different countries, right? South Korea, and then US and UK, and then Singapore, Japan, China, and Hong Kong. But once I do a textual analysis, what do? Well, let's take it to, the news article coming up today, okay? And then let's use it as a predictor for what's coming up over the next week or month, right? And whose news article, okay, whose newspaper about North Korea has best predictive power about North Korea's action? British ones. British ones. British ones, right? It's just confirming my conjecture, okay? Has been there for a long time, So, having watched this, right? If you're interested, right, go ahead and take a look at this article summary, okay? What I find over here in my research paper is, number one, the language tone using big data approach. Okay, language tone of British media has significant predictive power, the best predictive power about North Korea's military aggression. Number two, before North Korea does some random attack, military attack, like shooting South Korean soldiers or the testing nuclear weapon, they don't announce, right? I'm gonna test nuclear weapon tomorrow. No, they just shoot it. Okay, they just punch it. The long-range missiles or ICBMs, those testings, right? British media's language tone has best predictive power about it. Again. Also, their short selling, okay, short selling coming from short selling of South Korea stock index, right, predicts this kind of North Korea's attack very well, okay, very well. It helps us to better predict what's coming up from the north, okay. Why is that the case? Because Britain has a lot better information sources. Also, they have a lot of hedge funds moving, okay, and then they are directly trading in Korean stock market. So short sell South Korean stock index. Couple of days later, boom, North Korea does something negative. So what's the implication over here? Well, you said CNN was reporting this? Well, I was like, was it British media? Well, let's see what the British media say, okay? So I checked, okay? BBC, and there was no article about North Korea at 12 p.m., okay? 11:30 a.m. around that time in South Korea's time. BBC, no new North Korea article. Financial Times, no North Korea related articles, okay? So I said, maybe a rumor, okay? I'm not going to trust it. Okay. Then so let's see if we can find any news article about North Korea. BBC.com, bbc.co.uk. I have to sound more like British. And here, do you see any kind of North Korea related news articles coming up? And I don't still find anything coming up yet. So let's see. Um, is it because North Korea is such a small country they don't try to pay attention? And I say no. News, right, there you go. Right, there comes Kim Jong-un illness rumors denied by South Korea, which is published after noon, right? In South Korea's time. They are better informed about North Korea. Okay? So that's one interesting thing. Another one, let's see, Financial Times, ft.com. What did they say? Low. They're only interested in oil prices. And the world, if you look at it, let's see. Da-da-da. Right, Donald Trump is always there. So Donald Trump will always be happy as a narcissist, right? But do we see any North Korea issue over here? And I don't see anything coming up. There, right? So, when in doubt about North Korea, take a look at British media first, okay? Not the US media, CNN. Sorry, guys. So that's the reality, okay? Is it going to come up in your midterm exam? No, but this is for your just general knowledge for international students, okay? Next is about midterm exam. All right. So midterm exam, okay? Make sure you go ahead and read this one. Okay, midterm exam is midterm report instead of exam will be there for you, right? Shall I sound more like a British guy this time again? Now, dear all, I say, due to the circumstantial limitation, I will assign you some reports to write instead of midterm exam. Okay, this is the university's policy, and the strict honor code is enforced. One thing to notice is that I have Python code to input all your reports and estimate text similarities between any two pairs of your reports. If you learned about big data and text analysis, you will know what I mean. The ones with maximum similarity scores would naturally draw my attention, and I will seriously investigate the potential problem of plagiarism or cheating. Always try to write your own word and your own expression. Never ask your neighbors or friends. You are on your own. Okay? So I will assign the questions at 10 a.m. of Monday, the 27th, and you will turn it in, okay, the report, by 11:59 p.m. of Tuesday, the 28th, okay? So you're going to have more than one day to enjoy this exam. Hope you enjoy it. If you don't, try your best, okay? I will use the usual homework system of iCampus. So make sure you check out this website. Is there some kind of size limit or length limit for this report? I will tell you later, so wait for that. 12 font, double space, and English, please. Not Korean, not French or Dutch or Arabic, all right? English, please, all right? Not North Korean, of course. 뭐 이 소리 엉덩지 있겠어. No. MS Word file, docx format, please. All right. You can use Excel, but graphs should be copied and pasted on your Word file. Make sure you will submit only the Word file. Okay. Now, materials covered. Okay. Whatever you learned until this week, please. Until chapter 6. Okay. Excluding chapter 4. Of course, we did not learn chapter 4. Okay. So that's why. Make sure you read all those Q&As in the bulletin board, which is 문의 게시판 in Korean terminology in this iCampus. I will keep posting your questions and my answers to share with all of you. So that's it. Okay. If we check, all right. Right, I click it just to show you what's been there. I uploaded a new paper over here, which is written by Kalunki and Piku. All right, I don't know how to pronounce that, right? But here's an interesting paper that's worth reading. It says, do defaulting CEOs and directors increase the likelihood of financial distress of the firm? What? You may say, we never learned about financial distress in international finance. Well, international finance is all about finance anyway, and this has some implication, will have some implication to our the midterm reports. Okay, supposedly it's going to be fun. Okay, it's going to be fun. Let's see. I scroll down, and there's another paper that's worth reading it. Okay, which is Donald Trump's business failures were very real. Okay, it's New Yorker, the New Yorker magazine. So go ahead and read it. It's like a couple of pages long. So here's my message, dear all. Nowadays, we have been experiencing all the things that were previously unimaginable. Negative nominal interest rate in Germany and Swiss. And today, oil price turned negative, and Kim Jong-un is reported to be in medical trouble. What the heck? So, please give me what is coming next. Okay, anybody? Okay, and here is, I mean, this is not my report question. I'm just kidding. Okay, you imagine what's coming next, right? Tell me. But here's my thoughts, right? Two interesting articles that could be potentially help us better predict what unimaginable things could happen in the future, right? Enjoy. This will be covered in your midterm report. I will announce it later. How is it? You will see it. By the way, Kalunki et al.'s paper, this one, right? The first one, is an academic research paper with a lot of statistical empirical testing that you never learned. So, I do not expect you to read word by word and perfectly understand the science of it. Instead, I want you to read the abstract, introduction, literature review, and conclusion to get a sense of this story, not the main research methodology part or things like that, right? The scientific part, no worries, don't worry. But the story part, just take a glance of it, okay? Let's go with the flow. If any of you go to master's degree or doctoral program, right, PhD programs, this is the kind of papers you will have to read and write, okay? So how is it related to international finance? Well, you will see it in the midterm report, okay? So expect some fun part, okay? Yes, so that's the thing I want to tell you. So get ready for that, right? And then review what's been going on until now, okay? So briefly speaking, right, what was there in chapter 1 and 2, globalization and multinational firms? We talked about it, right? So go ahead and read it. And then the globalization waves, right? I told you about this, right? 3 different waves. Where are we? That kind of things. And then you remember in chapter 3, a balance of payment, the J curve kind of things, right? What was that? And then balance of payment issues were there, all right? And then, of course, in your homework, right? You are still working on it, so I cannot tell you at this video, but I'm going to give you some answers to your homework number 2 so that you will see what was there, right? And in chapter 4, corporate governance, we did not cover that part. Nah. And then chapter 5, the market for foreign exchange will be covered. And then chapter 6, right? International parity relations and forecasting foreign exchanges, right? Will be covered. Okay, will be covered. And then, so, wait a minute. Yeah. International parity relations. Well, chapter 5, right? You remember triangular arbitrage, right? And cross-currency exchange rates. You studied that part. And then FX market basics. And also there were some issues related to central banks. Do you remember that? Central banks. So I'm going to cover those parts. And then the yield curve kind of things, right? And then those current issues that I talked about in the videos, right, will be questioned, okay? And then chapter 6, the end, right? International parity relations, purchasing power parity kind of things. Yes, I'm going to ask you, okay? So just think of it as just big homework, right? So let's go. Good luck.